Brent, let's talk about Amen Corner. Masters coming up next week. Let's go with 11. You hit a good drive, you're at the top of the hill. Interesting because depending on where the tees are in the wind, you can have anywhere from what, 215 to 175 yards.
Yeah.
I heard Ben Hogan say once that no matter where the pin was, he never shot at it. He always tried to put it on the right side of the green. What's your philosophy for playing 11?
You know, 11's probably the scariest second shot at Augusta National, just because there's so much trouble, obviously, on the left side of the pond. The right side's obviously where you need to miss it, but it's not a gimme up and down. So and you're coming out with a mid to long iron, so it's a very, very difficult shot. So my whole thought process of the hole is there's a little front right corner of the green. It's kind of where I'm aiming every time, trying to obviously avoid anything going left there. Left is dead.
All right, let's see you hit the shot.
All right.
What do you figure we got here?
Just trying to hit a nice, what I call my stock shot. You know, nice straight to little turnover draw on the front right edge of the green.
I think the best thing you said was you don't even look at the flags.
Yeah.
Your target is that right part of the green, and that's where you're trying to put the ball, and you're going to hit the shape shot to get it there.
Yeah, exactly. In my mind right now, I'm set at the very right edge of the green. There's actually a pine tree behind the back right bunker that I always look at. It's kind of my target. And then just really focus on making sure I get through the golf ball.
Well, that would have been perfect. Just at the right edge, falling to the left, put you on the green. So now we've parred at 11.
Yes.
We're walking up to the 12th tee. I've heard people say all the time that the wind swirls around down on 12. So now it's probably the hardest 150-yard hole you could ever play. Jack Nicklaus says he's never shot at a flag. He shoots in the middle of the green. When you're on 12, what is your mindset?
It changes every time I'm on it. You know, it's such a difficult hole. That's why it's such a great par 3, because you can literally have a front left pin where you've got a perfect number for a pitching wedge, 135 yards. And it baits you into going after it, and you realize if you miss it 3 yards right of your target there, you go in the water. The more risk you take on there, you bring in a lot more big numbers. So that's why Jack was so smart by saying there's actually the front left bunker, corner of the front left bunker is right in the middle of the green, and that's your target. You're trying to hit it right there. That gives you the most depth to work with, and kind of forget about the pin there. As my one little confidence booster, I've always looked at that 11 flag right before I pull the trigger, see what that wind's doing. That's the best thing I've ever seen, the best way of judging the wind there.
So what are you going to hit here?
I've got an 8-iron.
8-iron, you're just going to try and hit it
a little
that?
3/4 cut shot right at the front left, kind of left center of the green, right in the middle of that bunker.
All right, let's see it.
Okay. Open the club face up a little bit, just swing along my body line.
That was perfect. I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier talking about that shot here on our range than it is standing on that tee on Sunday.
You know, it's funny, it's a lot easier on Wednesday afternoon than it is on Thursday afternoon as well either. That first guy on 12 is kind of a guinea pig, so you try to take every piece of advantage you can get, every advantage you can get there, and being second or third up at 12 in Augusta is not a bad thing to have happen.
It's such a great par 3.
It is, you know, it's really probably one of the best designed par 3s I've ever played, because it brings so many numbers into play. I've seen guys make 7 and 8s there, and I've seen guys make 2s there. I even played with Harris English last year in a practice round. He made a 1 there. So
I know of a guy made a 1 there. My dad made 1 there.
Did he really?
It's pretty cool, yeah. Okay, we've been through 11 and 12. Now we come to 13.
Okay.
13 is interesting because it's a very short par 5 by modern days links. It's barely over 500 yards.
Yes.
Now, some people like to play a 3-wood off the tee. Some people like to play a driver. What is your choice?
Well, because I like to draw it. Sometimes I like being aggressive with a driver. Most of the time it's a 3-wood hole. So with a 3-wood, I have a much bigger fairway to hit it into. And so I can hit a nice, solid turning 3-wood, have probably 210 in from there. And if I don't pull it off, I kind of hang out to the right. It's a 3-shot hole. But if I hit it just right, I get up there where it's supposed to be, and have a long iron to hybrid in from there.
And the hole is a perfect shape for you because
Correct.
you like a little right to left draw.
Yeah.
So you just set up and hit your stock 3-wood.
Yeah, let's see if I can pull one off.
Oh, that'd be perfect right there. Can we bottle that?
I know. I don't want to waste it today, but that was the right feeling.
All right, so now we're down there in the fairway. Now comes I think one of the most interesting second shots in golf, to a green that sits and runs away from you to the right. The distance to the front left corner versus the back right can be 20 yards.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just because of the way the green sits there. But yet, you're standing there with a ball above your feet, which is going to cause a hook. So your tendency is you want to aim out to the right because you think you're going to draw it. And if you don't draw it, that thing hangs out there. It's going in the creek.
Sometimes you get suckered into saying, well, I only have 192 yards to the front edge. Well, that front edge may be 6 yards wide. And you see the green from where you're looking, it looks like it's 30 yards wide. So it's a great design, the fact that, you know, the actual front of the green is probably 20 yards on, so you really have 214 to the front, and that's the width of the green. So
you told me Tom Watson gave you a great tip for hitting these balls with the ball above your feet, especially on that hole. What was that?
So I played a practice round with Tom, and And he was really gracious. And so I sat there and asked him, I was like, what would you do on 13 out of the fairway? Because I struggle making sure that ball turns over without overcooking it. And he said, give me a great tip that's just something really easy to do in your setup when you're getting over to make sure that ball will turn over every time. That is, what I wasn't realizing is when that ball's above my feet, my hands are getting too high because I wasn't adjusting for my normal position because the ball was so much far above my feet. So when I got my hands a little bit lower, obviously it made the club bottom out at the right angle every time. The ball turned over a little bit easier and I stopped hanging them out.
Let me see your natural setup. Okay. Where your hands would be a little higher. So that's kind of how you would set up. So when you get there with the ball above your feet, you drop your hands down
my hands a little bit more like that.
I like that.
And sure enough, there's a nice little draw.
You know what I like about that is you know exactly what that ball is going to do. I think it's pretty interesting. We've talked about 3 of the most famous holes in golf. Amen Corner at Augusta National, 11, 12, and 13. You're one of the best players in the world, and you haven't once talked about shooting at a flag.
No.
I think that's what makes Augusta so fantastic.
There's a reason why Jack Nicklaus won so many majors there, or won so many Masters, is because he knew the art of putting the ball in the middle of the green and steering away from trouble.
Well, I love your game plan, Brent.
Yeah.
Augusta National is a special place. Amen Corner is what it's all about. I know you know you're ready. I know you're ready. Let's go to Augusta and have a chance to put that green jacket on, my man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Butchie. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks.